Hi, and welcome to the Girlfriends Happy Hour.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hi.
Hi, Monica.
I'm Melanie.
And I'm Ashley.
Welcome to our podcast lounge.
Yay. It is wonderful to be back.
It's officially winter.
It is officially
I
winter.
know. Isn't this ridiculous? We sit here sniffling.
I know.
No, we're not Coke addicts. It's Michigan. Your nose runs all the time.
Speak for yourself. Oh, yeah. Well, I have a nice little cocktail to not really warm us up, but make us feel good. Makes you feel warm from the inside.
Yes.
It's a cold cocktail.
I agree.
Lovely.
This is called a Caramel Apple Cider Mimosa. And
That's good.
it's just to commemorate. This is our Thanksgiving episode. So happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
ladies.
Thanksgiving,
Yes.
everybody.
Cheers.
Oh, whoops. Cheers.
Oh, they don't ting well because there's that caramel on the lens.
Yeah.
Lens.
It funks.
We just got caramel all over.
good.
So it's in a champagne glass, and I rimmed it with some caramel, dipped it in cinnamon sugar, and
good.
it's basically half apple cider. And I used the QD Quality Dairy apple cider because it's so good. It's in
Shout out, cutie.
cutie. It's made from Honey Crisp apples, and then I topped it off with champagne, so it's really good.
It's delicious.
Ooh,
I love it.
It's
It's
very
delicious.
good. Very good.
So yeah,
What's everybody been up to? Seems like forever since we've done this, doesn't
It's
it?
been a while. Ashley was
has.
not with us last time. We had Karen over and played a game and chatted about some movies and stuff. And
Mhm. I don't remember what I was doing.
yeah,
I don't
Something
know.
movie-wise, I think.
probably.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well,
I saw that. You just licked the rim, didn't
oh
you?
heck yeah!
Oh my God, it is. It's like caramel around the rim with sugar on it. It's like, this is the best.
She licked the rim.
Oh,
She licked the rim. It's delish. It is delicious.
And I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but Ashley showed me a little rough clip of the movie, and I got to
Yep.
see it.
Is
We're-
this the one we're in?
The one we're in.
Yeah,
that
we're-
we're done filming.
We're done filming, so it's just editing and marketing and stuff right now. So I was sent a few rough edit cuts of certain scenes. So I was kind of excited. I showed Melanie a couple of clips that you guys were in, showing you
Can't
guys in the
wait.
background. So I'm excited. Yeah. It's a
Being
process.
just regular gals. That's
yeah,
us.
just regular gals at the bar.
Yeah.
Just regular
It
gals.
looks so good from what she showed me, and I was just—it's so
Oh my
exciting.
gosh.
Yeah.
I can't
to
wait.
see her.
I
Yes.
Cannot wait.
So that's the last movie I saw.
What's those movies?
Just a
Anyone
few
else?
minutes ago.
Seen a movie lately?
I did.
What did you see?
Well, I saw in the theater. We saw Widows with Viola Davis
Yes.
and
She's
yeah. There's a bunch of people in it. There's a ton of people, and I'm blanking on names right now.
That looks good. I saw the trailer at the theater when I was seeing, A Star is Born for the second time?
Ah.
Or maybe it's when I went to see Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oof.
Loved it.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. It's a
I
good
know.
movie.
I wanted to see that one real bad.
Okay, I can make you super, super jealous. You ready?
Please
What?
do.
I am now watching the Hallmark Christmas movies on Netflix. I think I'm up to 4 now, and of the 4, 3 involve a princess or a prince.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. Okay, spoiler alert. Here's how one of the movies goes. She falls in love, doesn't realize he's a prince, finds out he's a prince. She does something that makes him mad, so stuff happens. She runs away. He chases her, proposes to her. They get married and live happily ever after.
Oh my God! Really?
Then
Imagine that.
Then there's another one where he broke her heart when he left town, became a big time musician, down on his luck, comes back. They rekindle their love, save the farm, and have a wonderful Christmas. Then there was the one where she was a reporter. He was the prince. She ended up being a tutor to his little sister.
Oh,
He
I saw that
found
one.
out. She left, went back to New York. He came, proposed to her. They got married and lived happily ever after.
There's always a rich person
Yes.
and then a farm girl
It's
or
the
whatever.
beautiful farm girl
Yeah.
or city girl or something.
The
yeah.
girl next door with
Yeah.
no money.
Or
Exactly.
the guy next door who's just the local
Yes.
handyman
Yeah.
who's sexy
Yep.
as hell.
Oh, yeah.
And he comes and, fixes her pipes
Yep.
and that kind of stuff.
He
Yeah,
fixes her pipes all right.
Well, yes, there are certain rules that you must follow
Yep.
to make a good Hallmark movie.
It's very true. I actually was looking up some Hallmark movies earlier when Monica
Well,
was.
you should talk to me now. Because
She
I
was-
just barely
yeah.
hooked on them. Thank you, Melanie, for that one too, by the way. And I'll tell David, you're never going to believe how this one ended. Did they fall in love with happily ever after? Yes.
So I found a New York Post article. It is from 2014, but I assume these rules have not changed
Probably not.
as
I
far
don't
as
think they
Hallmark
changed much.
Christmas
Probably not.
movies go. But it says 12 rules of Hallmark Christmas
Oh,
movies.
this is going to be good.
I'll kind of go through them fast,
Okay.
not read all of them. But number 1, a leading lady or gent will, when you squint, look like somebody more famous.
Oh, okay.
So the example is in Snow Bride. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Snow Bride is that Olivia Munn? Nope, it's Katrina Law. So apparently
And
the
she's
chick looks like
gorgeous.
She is.
gorgeous, but she's not Olivia Munn.
Okay.
But
apparently,
they're
according
all
to this.
so they're all beautiful,
Yes.
everyday looking people.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
Candace Cameron Bure.
She's in a lot of them.
She's in a ton of them. And then who's the other one I love? I can't remember now. The other one who's in all kinds
All
of
of
them.
them.
Oh my God, what's her name? She's got the long dark hair.
Oh, that girl who was in the thing with the
yeah,
guy.
yes,
At
that
that
one.
place.
Yes,
That
but
one.
yeah, they're beautiful
Yeah.
people, but they're like everyday beautiful people, TV
Mhm. Like
people,
us,
not movie
yeah.
people.
TV people.
Like the poor man's Matt Damon. What's his
Right.
name?
Right.
From Breaking Bad.
Poor- That's
Poor
funny.
man. Yeah.
I like that.
All right, and number 2, a
Okay.
disapproving mother will initially resent her son/daughter getting involved with someone from a lower station in life
And
until
poor
she's
queen.
proved wrong. And then this says, in A Royal Christmas, it's Jane Seymour in that role. So point proven. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 3, a fast-paced, big city type, we just said this, is changed when he or she meets a small town type who shows him or her what life is really about.
Oh, I love movies like that.
Yep. 4, 2 people are brought together by pet shenanigans. Now, I haven't seen this one very often.
I
Have you
have
seen
not.
these?
There's a cat one.
There's a
one
cat
about
one.
a stray cat and a fireman.
This one is their example is the Christmas Shepherd. And it's a German
No,
Shepherd.
I have not seen that.
I haven't
one
seen
yet.
those either. Number 5 says, Christmas at Cartwright's. An example. It stars Alicia Witt, fast becoming the queen of the Hallmark holiday movie.
I saw
So
that
there's
one.
specific women, like you were saying,
Yes.
that have
I
been
need
in.
to know who she is
So
now.
so number 5 is essentially the same people star in all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 6, a Christmas hater falls for a Christmas lover.
Yeah. Oh, that is 100%.
Wow. How
As
do they
seen in the
live?
Christmas ornament, which I don't.
Oh, I've seen that one.
You've so you've seen a lot. Look
I've
at you.
seen a
You've
lot.
seen a lot.
That's why
Well,
she
the last
yeah.
couple years, I just binge watched completely
Well, they're
all
on
Christmas long.
nonstop, Yeah,
Yep.
I had time the last couple of years.
Well,
I haven't even
exactly.
watched. I've only watched a couple.
couple
this year.
this year. Number
to get me hooked.
7, a supernatural Christmas entity appears to either get a couple together or bring the spirit of the season to a town full of haters.
That was just like the one I just saw because this guy, he was like magical Santa, he kept appearing all over.
Was it called Angels and Ornaments?
No, it
Oh,
wasn't.
I've seen that one.
Oh my gosh, you're on a roll. All right, how about this one? Number 8, a going to buy a tree scene is key. Ideally, this will involve a couple literally bumping into each other and
Yep.
falling in love, as in fur crazy.
Ooh,
You seen that one?
I don't
You
know.
should add it to the list. It looks like
I'm writing it down.
Fur
Fur crazy.
crazy.
Like FIR, right?
correct. Yep.
That could also be the title to one of those pet ones too, with an
Yes.
FUR.
Har har. The
Look
one,
at
Hardy
you.
har har.
Yeah, look at you make it. All right, number 9. Nobody is shy about keeping the Christ in Christmas, popping up with regularity, suggestively religious mentions of hope, faith, and asking for a miracle. So still a lot of Christ in Christmas movies.
the one I
Hallmark
just
Christmas
watched,
movies.
the dad kept referring to the manger.
Yep. So,
So.
they do keep. All right, number 10. A single woman procures a boyfriend proxy to make her family happy.
Ah.
And he turns out to be the one.
Yeah.
As
Imagine
in
that.
a boyfriend for Christmas.
100%. I've seen
Okay.
that one.
Yeah, I feel
Couple
like
times.
everyone's seen that one. Number 11, a career-minded woman runs into a down-to-earth old flame who teaches her the meaning of life via Santa Claus, as in catch a Christmas star. And number 12, there is no sex.
Yeah.
There's not at all.
Not
no.
even
They're
when the
Allen
lead is a hot fireman like Brandon Routh in 9 Lives of Christmas. So
Oh,
those
yep,
are,
that was a nine.
that
That's
was
what I
Nine
said. The
Lives-
fireman and the cat.
although he doesn't look that attractive, but anywho, those are the 12
Okay, well that would
rules of Hallmark.
those
Christmas
would
movies.
work then because the one that I just watched today has Vanessa Hudgens from all the
Yeah. High
High School Musical, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she was in this one. Here's a quick synopsis. When a down-to-earth Chicago baker and a soon-to-be princess discover they look like twins, identical twins from completely different countries, because that happens every day.
Sure.
They hatch a Christmas time plan to trade places. And guess what? They fall in love with each other's fella. Yeah. It's
a holiday.
amazing.
With
Yeah.
each other's fella.
And it's a brand new one. It's called The Princess Switch for 2018 on Netflix. So, Hallmark movie
my
right there.
gosh. I
Right
love it.
there.
Look them up.
Yep.
I love it.
I'm going to start writing these down because it's a good one.
I have a game for you guys.
Ooh.
All about Christmas, Hallmark Christmas movies.
Oh, okay.
So I found this article online. This guy named Dave Holmes wrote this article a couple years ago in Esquire, but it's kind of cute. It's called An Impassioned Defense of Extremely Bad Christmas Movies.
Yay!
So I'm going to read you 3 synopses, and you have to tell me which one is fake.
Ooh.
Do we talk about it or do we each just guess? I don't know.
How do you want to do it? You can discuss. I don't care. You can, yes, you have to come to a consensus.
Okay.
So, okay. This one, let's start with this one. It's called Broadcasting Christmas.
Ooh.
2 execs compete for the same co-host position at the nation's favorite morning show in Manhattan. They'll both do what it takes to get ahead, but the fire that burned between them hasn't quite burned out.
Ooh.
A scoop for Christmas. Tough young reporter Charlie stumbles on the story of the year when she learns that the elderly CEO of her town's ice cream conglomerate is planning to step down and hand over control to one of his 3 sons. Going undercover as an office temp, she gets to know all 3 candidates and loses her heart to the shy but brilliant youngest son, Jeremy. Will she compromise her story to help him win the position in time for Christmas?
Good Lord.
Or
What is that called? A scoop
A
for Christmas?
scoop for Christmas.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Or is the fake one, every Christmas has a story. When a TV personality has an on-air snafu and admits she hates Christmas, she is invited to the most Christmassy town in the U.S. to try and repair her image. Forced to work with her ex-boyfriend Jack, the show's producer, the magic of Christmas and this special town will change the way she views Christmas and her life forever.
Oh my gosh, they're all so elaborate.
They are so good. I'm thinking number 1 might be the fake one. I don't know.
I'm thinking 1 or 2.
Yeah, the scoop for Christmas. You didn't really buy that one.
It's so far fetched, but then maybe that
But
makes it
That's
correct.
what makes it believable.
It makes it a perfect
All
Hallmark
right,
movie.
let's go with the first one.
Okay, let's go with this one.
Wrong.
Oh.
That is the first one is a real one, Broadcasting
Broadcasting
Christmas.
Okay.
And number 2 is real as well. Every Christmas has a story. And I have seen that one a couple times now. And I really, that one is with Lori Loughlin. She's another one
Ooh,
who's
she's
in
in
all
all
the
of 'em.
ones.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
in
wait,
all
wait,
the
wait,
ones.
wait. She's from Full House, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Must be Candace got her a gig there, huh?
It could be. The Dean Cain and Melissa Joan Hart were in the first one, Broadcasting Christmas.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and then A Scoop for Christmas was the fake one.
Mm.
And this guy,
I
Dave
knew it.
Holmes, he says that, he wrote these and he is ready to step in and produce these shows.
Great.
If anyone ever asks
I
him.
mean, they're essentially pitches for.
Yep. Okay, so I am going to read you 3 more. Okay.
All right, we're gonna get these ones.
Okay, with this one for sure. You're an actress, for God's sake. We should know these things.
The first one here is called Christmas Cards. Professional poker player Frankie's car breaks down in a small Pennsylvania town on her way to the annual Christmas poker tournament in Atlantic City. While the car gets fixed, Frankie sets her sights on hustling the locals, but the local bar
Frankie.
owner
What a
bar
bitch.
owner has a past of his own and a few tricks up his sleeve.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Or a very merry mix-up. A woman sets out to meet her fiancé's family at Christmas and winds up at the wrong house.
Uh-oh.
Once the mistake is corrected,
Oh man,
she...
You know how this one's going to go.
I ended up at the wrong house.
Oh, no.
my
You're
God.
even cuter. I'm staying here.
Once the mistake is corrected, she realizes that her bond with the wrong family and their eligible son was stronger than her bond with the right one.
Oh, let's be honest. It's the son. It's not the family. Come on.
And let's see. A Crown for Christmas.
Oh, okay, there's got to be one of the prince or princess. I love it.
After getting fired from a ritzy New York hotel, Allie accepts a job as governess to a young girl who is part of a powerful family in Europe. Upon arriving, Allie learns the girl is Princess Theodora and her father is Maximilian, the King of Windshire. Princess Theodora terrorizes authority figures, yet the two wind up hitting it off, and at the same time, a spark forms between Allie and Max. All right. Which is the fake one?
I feel like it's number 1.
I'm going to go with you on that.
What was the
I don't know.
Christmas cards.
Yeah,
with the poker player?
I think that's that one.
I think that's
You guys are right.
Yeah.
Yay.
Because, when you're talking Hallmark Christmas movies, a poker player who tries to swindle a town, that just doesn't seem warm and fuzzy to me.
Well, she changes.
Well, of course she does.
But Alicia Witt, she's the other one. She's in a lot of them. She's got the red hair and she's really cute, like Girl Next Door.
I remember her from Urban Legends, that movie, right? Wasn't she in Urban Legends?
The name
Possibly.
sounds
I think
familiar.
it was somebody else.
I'd have to look it
Alicia
up.
Witt.
I'm
I'd
not
have to
sure.
look. She's in a horror movie, I know.
I tell you what,
Yeah,
every
I
year I'm
know.
watching them, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I want to be an actress in a Hallmark movie.
Here's one that's next on my list to watch. Merry Christmas.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, you've
yes.
seen that one?
No. I'm sorry. I meant to say I saw it when I was looking up Christmas
Oh,
movies, and I'm
okay.
like, oh my gosh, I have to see that one.
Have you seen A Christmas Inheritance yet? These are mostly
Probably.
Netflix movies now. Netflix Christmas movie.
Okay.
So if not, that's good. And there's also A Christmas Prince, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that I watched today, Christmas in the Smokies, where the boyfriend comes back and helps save the farm.
I do want to see that
That was
one.
actually cute.
So some of them aren't on Hallmark. They're like just like Netflix.
Netflix
movies?
has
Yeah,
jumped
and
on
then I
board
think
big
I'm
time.
missing out then.
I
Yeah.
think Lifetime has their own version of Hallmark Christmas movies
Good
too.
Yeah.
Lord,
Well,
they're
there's
taking over.
the Hallmark Channel, and then there's Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, and God damn it, what is her name? The long dark haired girl.
Was she on Party of 5? That girl?
Yeah, that girl.
Lexi,
So there's a whole commercial where
Oh.
she talks about the differences between.
Party of 5, Mean Girls. That girl?
I think so.
I
whose
cannot
dad
think of her
made
name.
toaster strudels?
Yes. What's her name in real life?
Bing, bong,
Should we
bing,
look it
bong.
up?
Liz.
Alexa.
I'm really wanting to figure this out because I'm so good at this game and I'm upset that I can't figure it out on my own. Her name is
Oh, it's just going to come to me. I'm going to scream it out in a second.
Lacey Chabert.
That's
Damn
it.
it.
Ah!
I
Congratulations.
love her.
Chabert. I do too.
She's so good.
So
Yeah,
good.
she is queen.
So good.
So good.
I heard, and this could be urban legend, this could not be true at all, but I heard that there was, I think I want to say Vancouver or somewhere up in Canada where there's just a whole town and it's just like Christmas town, and this is where they film a lot of the Hallmark movies.
Oh.
Like it's just like a whole city that's just like decked out for this every time they need a new script and they film it there. So
I'm asking her, is this the one you made me watch? The one where the ghost comes back every Christmas and they have to close down the inn.
Okay.
So the ghost can have it to himself for 12 days or something?
Okay. So first,
It's very
I
realistic.
totally want to go to this city that you're talking about.
yes,
Is it in
and-
Canada?
I think
Oh,
it's in
okay.
Vancouver.
I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go. Put it on our list.
Okay.
Do you guys ever go to Bronner's Christmas Wonderland?
Oh, yeah. Been there a
time?
bajillion times,
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
That is in
It's just
Frankenmuth,
busy.
and
Mhm.
yeah, it's
Always.
just
Yeah.
it's basically just a big, huge store, right?
That sells
I mean,
Christmas
they don't-
stuff from
yeah.
all over the world, yeah.
Yeah, all over the world and all
It
year
used to
round.
be real cutesy. Now it's just like this huge, almost this huge warehouse store. It's like
Yeah,
not really the same.
yeah.
But it's still fun. You
I
need
want to go
once.
somewhere that is a Hallmark Christmas movie town
Spend a weekend
Mm-hmm.
and wear pretty sweaters
and fall in love.
and see princes walking all over, you know? See somebody fall and tumble and a guy with them. You're like, oh, they're going to get married because they just fell.
So Monica had a girl.
Yes.
She hosted a girlfriend sleepover at her house, and our friend Renee, friend of the podcast, and our friend Tracy,
Yep.
and our friend Karen, another friend of the podcast.
Yep.
Sorry, Ashley, you weren't there.
It's okay. It's okay. I
She's
was
all
busy
good.
last weekend.
Yes. So we got together and we did some Christmas crafts.
That's fun.
We Renee brought a ton of empty wine bottles. I don't know where she got them all.
I don't know that either.
And Tracy brought some wine glasses and paints and all kinds of things. And so we painted wine glasses and the wine bottles.
Yes.
And did all kinds of different decorations. It was so much fun.
It really was fun.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
And I found out that I'm good at a lot of things. I am not good at crafting.
Really?
And she's, you know how competitive she is. So she just was like, nah, I don't like it. She's pouting and she's like, no, I don't want to do it.
You're
I don't think
upset.
that's exactly what I sound like. But then again, you might be kind of close.
You might.
She was
You
so
might be right
frustrated.
there.
It was
Just, I like when I do things, I want to do it. I want to be the best.
Sure.
Bottom line.
Sure.
And here I am, like, painting like a fucking 2-year-old. I'm like, damn it! Everybody was better than me. It was awful.
no, but
My daughter's 20-year-old boyfriend comes down, la 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 la, whips up this wine glass thing, looks just like the snowman from the Disney movie with the princesses. And
Well, maybe you need to do some sort of abstract type of art. That's
I
not
tried to. That's kind of what I pawned it off
maybe and
as.
maybe use a different medium than like
Yeah.
actual paintbrush. Use like sponges.
Tracy showed you how to make the buttons on your snowman with the
Renee did. Yeah, you
round
tip the
tip
end
of
in.
something.
Yeah, that I
Renee,
could do.
mhm.
That I could do.
And but no, she kept messing up, and she would, damn it, she'd get so mad,
did.
and then we'd clean it off, and she'd start over. But in the end, your Christmas tree wine bottle was beautiful.
Not as sweet as
So,
the others. Mine was
quit your
more
bitching.
abstract.
I think the more she drank, the better.
The
her art
better.
got.
I was like, I don't care. I'm Picasso.
You're relaxed.
Yes.
You're not worried about it too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then Renee had these light strands that you tuck down into the
I
wine
was gonna
bottle
ask
with
you
a
if that's
cork
what you did.
with
Yeah.
a cork on the
Yeah.
end.
That's awesome.
And
That was so cute. Those are so cute.
so you can
yeah.
light them up. And it was just a lot of fun.
Yep.
It's something we had been talking about for a long time, getting together and do some kind of craft like that. And
Keeping Hobby Lobby afloat.
yes.
with
I used
our
to do that
dollars.
with my cousins. We got together and made wreaths one year, which was really fun. So
Yeah.
everybody made like a different kind of wreath. Like mine was like had a lot of browns and pine cones in it, and somebody did like a white one that was more like new age art. And yeah, you can just do whatever you want.
Sweet.
Yeah, you could pen like little stuffed animals.
Yeah,
to
do
it
whatever
or
you want.
Yeah, whatever. And that's where I get tripped up because I don't feel very like I'm really artistic in that way. And then they're like, just do anything. It's
Yeah.
okay, just do anything. And I'm like, but that's too many choices.
Yeah.
Someone
Her
just tell me
Christmas
what to do.
tree wine bottle, yours was really good.
I did. I followed kind of a from Pinterest. I
Yeah.
pulled one up.
God bless Pinterest.
God bless Pinterest. And yeah, it's really pretty. Maybe we should take some pictures and put it on Instagram. I haven't put anything on Instagram lately.
There you go.
Yeah.
You should.
So anyway, so we're doing these crafts and they were a lot of fun. Karen and Tracy had to leave, so it was just the three of us. And then, of course, Monica went to bed.
No, but before I went to bed.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God.
Talk about
this
movies.
is like, okay. In
Shoot me.
defense of a movie, do you like movies from like the 40s and 50s, the big movies that have the big dance scenes in them and that kind of over the top movies?
Like Singing in the Rain.
Kind of like that.
Like
yeah.
actual
more like,
musicals
yeah.
or
It was Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, with these great dance scenes, when they're doing the barn raising and all that.
She made us watch it.
They hated it.
They
It's like
didn't
one
like-
of my favorite movies. I even
Oh.
own the VHS tape, and they both hated it.
So here's the thing. If there's a movie that I really love, and even though I want to share it with the world, if I know that somebody's not going to like it, like if I know my boyfriend will not appreciate it at all,
Yes.
we won't watch it because it'll make me so angry
That's
and
how I was.
upset that he's not paying attention or that
Yeah.
he's not liking it or whatever. He's not having the reactions that I want him to have.
That's
Then I
exactly it.
don't. So I already know this about myself. So I try not to show.
That's good.
So movies that are near and dear to my heart, I just don't want to see with people that I know aren't going to appreciate them.
I'm gonna do that from
So
now
from
on.
now on, I would just suggest that because
gonna
I've
do that.
learned
They are
through
mocking. They
I've
still
learned
mocking
through
me.
my like temper tantrums of being like,
Yeah.
stop! Why are you laughing? Why?
know,
This isn't
like-
a funny part.
I know, like, stop talking. This is really good. They're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna raise the bar, and they're like rolling their eyes, and I'm like,
And
I
then-
can hear that.
And then I do
Okay.
this thing where I'm like, a good part's coming up. I'm watching your face.
Yeah.
Are you smiling? Are you laughing?
Do you understand what's happening?
get
Can
it?
you tell you? 'Cause I'll pause it and tell you.
I'm like,
I'll pause it
you
and
look down
explain.
at your phone one time, I'm gonna beat you across the face.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't look at your
Yeah.
phone. You gotta watch this part.
I get that. So Monica's over here complaining how much we complained about Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, but right before that, Renee and I are like, we want to watch this Hallmark movie, and she and Tracy just kept making comments the whole way through. We were watching. What was it called again?
The Ghost for Christmas.
The Ghost for Christmas. I can't remember now. It was. But the girl, I was all of a sudden I go, oh my God, she was on my soap opera. I haven't watched a soap opera in a year or two, but
you still recognize her.
Yeah, right. I'm like, oh my God, that was her. But yeah, she goes to this inn. She's an attorney, and they're wrapping up the sale of this inn, and there's this ghost there, and of course they fall in love and all this stuff. But she and Tracy were just making all kinds of comments.
Yeah.
And now you're in love with that.
No, I'm not.
Not
I'm not
that,
in love with
but-
that, but no. Just because the movies are so cheesy, and they make me smile now. Because
They're funny.
Yeah.
Well, but you were making fun of our movie, so we made fun of your movie.
Okay, whatever.
An eye for an eye.
Yeah.
Speaking of guilty pleasures, this is off topic, but I started watching Riverdale. Have you seen Riverdale?
Oh my God.
It is not a great show, but I'm really into it, weirdly enough. And it is not my kind of show. Like anything on the CW is not for me, but for some reason I really enjoy it.
Have you started Sabrina yet?
No.
Because I'm thinking of, remember the cute Sabrina, Melissa Joan Hart, we're goofy little ants, and that cute little cat that talks. Well, now they all worship Satan.
I heard it is dark. Yeah.
As I'm watching this, I'm like, what are you watching this? I'm thinking we're going to just burn watching it on TV. But yeah, it's all about Satan and stuff. I'm like, this is quite a far step from the fun little TV show.
I don't think you knew this. So after you went to bed, we watched the Hallmark movie about the ghost.
Course.
And then we were watching Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. She got sleepy and went to bed. And immediately Renee's like, do you mind if I turn this off? I'm like, nope, turn it off.
Go ahead.
Then we started watching Sabrina. So Renee and I are sitting there. It's around 3 a.m, and we hear this loud smack, like a crash, like a smack. And we stop and look at each other, and she starts and I was like dead tired, so I was just sitting there at the table. We were still painting, and I'm like, you can go look for whatever it was. We couldn't figure out what it was.
May I interject too?
Yes.
Renee said it was so loud it almost felt like the house was shaking, and it caused the TV to almost start recalibrating. You know, that little wheel going round and round.
Like it shook it so much that it like,
Yes.
Didn't wake me up. I slept through the whole thing.
Yeah, you did. It was so loud. And so she kind of climbed up the stairs and looked up there, and there was nothing amiss. And we were just like, what the heck was that? So whatever. We ended up like 5 a.m. I finally dragged myself upstairs to her spare bedroom way in the back down the dark hallway in the back. And I sleep there. Well, later that morning after I went home, Renee calls and says she was telling you about the noise.
Yeah.
And what did you say?
You know what? It's so funny. I'm just so used to it now. I never think to bring it up. But apparently we have a ghost in our house.
Your house is like newish, right?
Apparently that doesn't matter.
No, doesn't matter.
Here's how we found out. My daughter has a lot of art on her arms, tattoos. And this was like a couple boyfriends ago. And she was at their house, and they're sitting on the couch. It was winter, so she had long sleeves on. And all of a sudden, her boyfriend... his sister was in from Indiana visiting for the week. So they were chatting a little bit. And all of a sudden she just stopped. And she was just staring at my daughter, and her brother goes, oh God, not now. She's like, and my daughter's like, what? He goes, she's one of those, she thinks she's psychic, and she, is always has to tell people what she sees. And so my daughter, being my daughter, was like, ooh, I want to know.
Ooh, yeah.
Tell me.
I would too.
So the woman goes, your house is haunted. You have a ghost. And my daughter's like, no, our house is new. No, we can't. She goes, no, there is a woman in your house. And she's like, really? She goes, she's not there to harm you, scare you. She just kind of likes to keep an eye on you. And she goes, when you go up the stairs, she likes to stand right at the very top of the stairs. And then she goes, is that where your bedroom is? Because that's where I see her standing, is kind of by your bedroom. And my daughter's like, yes, that's where my bedroom is. And she said, well, she's no threat to you. You don't need to worry. She's a Victorian era woman dressed in Victorian garb. And at that point, my daughter said her face just went white. She pulled up the sleeve of her shirt. My daughter had just got a tattoo of a Victorian woman. Didn't even know why. She's like, I don't know. I was in the tattoo shop and I saw it. I'm like, well, that's cool. So she has a Victorian woman tattooed on her arm, and here's this girl going, Yeah, you have a Victorian woman kind of keeping an eye on you in the house.
She must have been subconsciously coming to her while she's sleeping
I
or
wonder,
something.
isn't that something? And then
Well, what time did that crash happen?
in the 3 o'clock hour.
3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, we think it was
So-
around 3.
The
Yeah.
witching hour. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I don't know if I don't know what her problem was, what was going on there, but
She didn't like the guests in the house,
I don't know.
apparently. Well, she didn't. It was
she
just
might not be a fan of Hallmark movies.
That could be it. She was like, enough with the fucking Hallmark movies.
Give me 7 brides for
Yeah,
7 brothers.
Exactly. That's
She's like,
probably-
my life was not a Hallmark movie.
She's like, I'm living on as a ghost on Earth, and this is what I have to watch on TV.
How dare you turn off?
How
Seven
dare
Brothers,
you do that to
Seven
me.
Brothers. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So then, and I didn't know any of this at the time. And actually, I forgot because you did tell me that story a few years ago.
Yeah.
I had forgotten that, but
I kind of forgotten it.
I was so cold. I laid in the bed and I was really, really cold at night. I don't know if it was just cold up there. No, I think there was a ghost. But then, so Renee called me and said, "What time was that?" And she said, "Monica says Carson, your other daughter, thinks it's haunted up there because she felt something.
She was in a dream and somebody just kind of like rubbed her face and in a nice gesture, just kind of rubbed her, woke her up out of sound sleep. And then a few nights later, it's one of those where you're sound asleep and all of a sudden in your dream someone's yelling at you.
Yeah.
And it was literally I was sound asleep and all of a sudden someone yelled, "Wake up now!" And I immediately just sat up in bed and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then of course you're so freaked out you just lay back in bed going, "What was that? Was I dreaming that? Was someone in the house? What's going on?"
Was it the bent neck lady?
No.
Oh,
God.
Did you wake up and she is standing there? No.
So good.
Yeah.
That's all I think of now.
Yeah. It all just comes around. So if you're listening and you're not sure, Ashley's talking about the Haunting of Hill House.
Wow, that is
Did you finish it?
Oh, I binged it.
So I watched it all, and then I wanted Nate to watch it because I was like, it's really good, even though you don't like scary. I think it's like it's about a family and grief and everything like that. So I was like, it's good. We got to end of the end of episode 5. I think it's the bent neck lady episode, and you see like the spoilers in regards to her, and he was just like. He was like, my stomach hurts. I can't watch anymore. Like he was just like done. I didn't make him watch anymore after that.
That's
but it was
funny.
like it was too like Inception-y and like a brain like.
He's like, I can't compute.
He was like, I'm not watching anymore. And I was like, all right, I won't make you watch anymore.
See, my husband does not like those. He won't watch them either. He'll be like, the minute it's something ghosty or he's like, done. Literally, he'll just go in the other room, watch TV.
Yep, no, I made him watch it. And then we got to that point. I was like, all right, I won't force you to watch anymore if it's freaking you out too much.
Funny.
It is really good.
It is.
And you said you've watched it through twice now?
Twice. Mm-hmm.
I started to because I wanted to watch it again and watch for all those things that come together in the end, which
It's a good idea.
I don't know if
that.
Yep.
Spoiler alert.
And
but
you do see a lot. You do see a lot now. Like now you know how it ends. You can kind of go back and see every
The
little.
last episode, though, I'm not gonna tell you what happens, but when the dad keeps saying to the son, "Just look at me. Just look at me. Look at me." It's like that was terrifying to me at that moment in the movie. Like,
yeah.
I sobbed the last episode.
Oh yeah.
Quite a lot.
It was really poignant.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was great.
The one episode in the funeral home when it was all like that probably intrigued you as a filmmaker.
I was gonna say tracking shots.
Yeah.
Is what they're called.
Okay.
Are some of my favorite shots in film where like they don't cut. You don't cut. You just keep following the action as it goes, and there's not any edits. And it's very hard to do. I mean, you have to choreograph an entire scene essentially, and you have to remember everything. You have to hit your marks and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's a really cool piece of filmmaking. That episode is just like go, 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 and I think that episode is fantastic.
Yeah.
The way it does that.
Yeah, that is such a good one to watch.
And then there's the one part of it where it's panning and there's a ghost standing right there.
Yep.
And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me of what's that podcast about Halloween that we were watching? Listening to?
Halloween Unmasked.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And they talk about the opening scene of Halloween. It never, like, when I watched Halloween, it never occurred to me. But yeah, it's all like one tracking shot in the very beginning.
Oh, that's right.
Where he's like, look, he's looking outside. He's looking up at the window. He comes around the front, and then he goes inside. And
It's from his point of view too, which makes it even creepier.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think yeah, I think tracking shots are really cool. I've been a fan of those
Mm-hmm.
for a while.
That's cool. Do they not do it so much because is it too time consuming, or I would almost think it'd be easier. It's like, here's what you do, and we're gonna get the shot and just.
I wouldn't say it's not easier because you can't, like with lighting and and the crew, like you can't get any of those things in the shot. Like if you pan a little bit too far to the left and you catch the light, you have to start all over. You know what I mean? Like every little aspect of it has to be perfect, including lighting and camera and sound and everything. So, we did it on set of The Visitors, that movie that I filmed, a couple years ago. And we had one shot where it was like them pulling into the driveway, coming into the house, having a scene in the house, going outside to the barn. And I was like a crew member, so I was having to like choreograph like turning on this light, hiding behind the couch. Then as soon as this door closes, I have to run around to this way. I have to go do this outside. I have to follow, and it's you have to time it perfectly. Otherwise it's not going to work.
Fun though, doesn't it?
So it is fun. And
Cool.
That's why I really enjoy them. And when I see them done well, I'm always like, yes. And I get really excited to see
well
it.
done.
Yeah, good job. Have you guys see any movies that are coming out soon? Are you looking forward to anything in particular?
I just saw there's another freaking Robin Hood movie coming out.
Yes. I think it looks awesome. But I also have a crush on that boy.
Who is he?
Taron Egerton, the one that's in the Kingsman movies.
That's what I was just gonna say. Okay, because I loved him in that.
Yes, and Jamie Foxx,
Oh, he's
who's very
wonderful.
talented. Yeah.
Wait, who's the British guy that's Taylor Swift's boyfriend? Is he an actor?
I don't know who that is.
I always confuse
Taylor
him.
Swift. She's a pop singer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should be more clear. I do know who Taylor Swift is. I do not know who she's dating now.
I always confuse him with the guy from The Kingsman, and I'm assuming they're two different guys. So.
Probably, or it could be him. Maybe they're dating.
I don't know. I'm not really up on that too much, so I guess I need to focus on that for next time. I'll be more prepared.
Well, Fantastic Beasts is coming out.
Yes.
Oh, I love
Very controversial
because of Johnny Depp. Yeah.
Mhm. What are your
I
thoughts on that,
know.
Ashley?
What?
Johnny Depp and with his just his personal life, and
He's so weird, isn't he? It's like everything he does is just so over the top.
Yeah, specifically this is due to the abuse allegations. And I don't remember what the courts, if he was charged with anything. I want to say they both were, I don't know if they were both charged, but I know they both had abuse allegations against them. But with him specifically, like, yeah, I think he probably drinks a lot and he probably gets angry. And I mean, I saw the video that she like set up the camera to record him during one of his rants, and he was angry. Yeah, he was angry and he looked mean, and I've seen the bruises on her and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's tough because it's always tough anytime you hear these things and it's people that you have liked at one point or another. It's just like, man, another one.
Well, the Harry Potter fan community is really upset.
Yeah, they did not.
JK
They were not
for
happy that
moving forward with him.
And JK did say, like, listen, I think he'll be a great, Grindelwald. She tweeted something about it in support of it, which, I mean, it's her prerogative to do so. I don't know. It is a tough situation. It's like, ugh. I think they probably should have cast someone else for sure. I don't know that would necessarily deter me from watching it, but it is kind of one of those things where you watch it and you're like, ugh. I mean, like, Kevin Spacey, you're never going to see him in something else, at least not for another 10 years, I would assume. Yeah. And I don't know. It's the culture we live in now. It's like they don't, they blacklist them and they never work ever again, and that's might be what they all deserve.
One actor, Mel Gibson, he's probably got to be sitting back going, whew, heat's off me now.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. What a crazy man. Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. It's like I feel like these allegations keep coming out about everyone, and it's
in every business. Ugh, it's creepy.
I'm like, everybody sucks.
And that brings a question to me, because this happened a couple months ago. I was working at my second job and I had to run out to my car to get something. So I had a shorter skirt on and top, and I was walking back into my building, and all of a sudden this car pulls up, and it's like in the parking lot, and he rolls down his window. Hey, baby, you're looking fine. I thought, what does he expect to get from that stupid comment? What does he think I'm going to go, oh my God, I've been waiting for the man like you forever. You love my life, with that snappy little one line you got there.
I always wonder if you were to like be like, thank God, and then like tried to hop in his car or something, what would he do? You know what I mean? Like, what do they really expect?
I've been waiting
for you forever.
Because I always think that, remember that one time I was jogging and that kid came up behind me on the bike and grabbed my butt. Did
I don't
did I tell you
remember
about
that.
It was like 5 or 6 years ago, but I was, and then he turned around to look, and I'm like, well, what does he think my reaction is supposed to be to that? Like, oh, you grabbed my ass. Thanks so much for that.
Yeah.
Like,
wait till I pull my gun out.
Well, I think it's control. A
Yeah.
lot of it
Oh,
is
yeah.
just control.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear these guys defending stuff like, "Oh, you can't even compliment a woman anymore."
I know, I hate that.
It's like, "Oh, screw you."
Why would you compliment a total stranger by rolling down your window and yelling out of your car?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Not a compliment, guys. Not a compliment.
No, people are ridiculous.
Yeah.
The men that are trying to say stuff like that
Mhm.
as if they're the victims now and everything
Yeah.
because they can't holler at women anymore.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so
Ridiculous.
sorry.
"Oh, I'm just trying to give you a compliment."
Jeez.
Shut up.
It's like-
When I waited tables, I distinctly remember this large group, and I'm sure it was over and over, but this one particular large group of guys, and they're sitting around, and I could hear their conversation, and they were like critiquing all these women. They're like, "Oh, I'd do her. I wouldn't do her." And I'm looking at the guys going, "What? First of all, who's going to do
I
you?"
was gonna say, do you
Yeah.
have a mirror? Do you know what
Yeah.
you look like? Because that ain't gonna happen.
It's just so
It's gross.
makes me mad.
Mhm.
It's disgusting.
I did have a talk with my daughter too. I told her there had been things that had happened to me in my past, and like at the time it was gross.
Yeah.
And like how could you touch me like that? But it was like there's nothing you could do about it.
Mm-hmm. Didn't have any power. It's sad that we all have these stories, and it's just like part of us. It's normal.
Yeah.
And then you have to think like, those of you who have daughters, you'd be
Yeah.
like, these things are going to
Yeah.
happen, unfortunately, and
Yeah.
you just have to like know how to handle them now. And luckily, I do think women have more power to handle them now,
Yeah.
and will be hopefully believed and understood more so than maybe they would have in the past. But
Yeah.
it is still just, it's tough, and
It's a whole boys will be boys, and
Yeah.
and I remember growing up, and they used to say, "Oh, he pulled your hair. That's because he likes you," or "He tripped you on
Yeah.
the playground. Oh, it's because he likes you."
well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
It's
kick
like,
him in the
really?
balls because you
Oh,
know,
because you like him.
because I like him.
Yeah.
I really think parents need to teach their kids, but we don't think about stuff like this, like teaching them about relationships and how they should be treated with respect.
Yes.
You just try to model it and everything, but I think it could be taught, like in schools. I think maybe there should be a class on that, especially younger teenagers. Like, this is acceptable to be treated this way,
Yes.
and this is not acceptable, and it's okay to have your boundaries.
Yeah.
Even just small things, when you might get like a snarky remark or a silent treatment or just manipulations, subtle manipulations that you don't see when you're going through it, but when you start adding them all up,
And then processing it, it's like, oh my
and
God.
then suddenly you realize you're in and you may not realize you're in a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
But I think people need to know the signs.
Oh yeah, there's so many stories of young women and men who, they finally get out of a relationship that they realize is toxic, that there's controlling behavior and everything, and then the other person, whoever gets broken up with, becomes a stalker, becomes maybe hurts this person, maybe kills them, and there's the statistics are not and I don't know specifically what they are. They're not crazy, but they're too high in my opinion. That this needs to be taught to the boys and girls who
Along with
how to
manners.
handle that. Yeah,
It's just a manners class, and then
I know.
where they can learn you don't yell at women out the car because they really don't take that as a compliment.
Well, I've been reading a lot about narcissism and things like that, and there's a whole spectrum of it, and I think that's what's wrong in these relationships where the man or the woman comes back and they murder the person in the end. It's because they are a narcissist and they get into this relationship by love bombing the other person, and the other person thinks, oh, this person is so amazing, they're wonderful, and then as time goes on, the narcissist starts to treat them poorly because they let down, they're done with their love bombing and now they're abusing them, and they finally catch on and the relationship, which just really pisses them off.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's a lack of empathy that they have.
And you know
too.
what? And it's just more, and the more you read about it, it seems like you can look at people you work with that are like, okay, now I understand this.
Yeah.
I always go back to a lot of like my Mocha Bex wasn't so bad. I think maybe because it was drive-through.
Yeah.
And maybe I didn't have to be so close quarters with people. But at Big B, working at Big B for, 5 years or so, all those men that and I didn't react to it well, but that's a whole other story of my like issues with men. But so like I was never like receptive to the compliments,
Yes.
which they didn't like.
Yeah.
Other girls would be like, oh, haha, whatever, and I was just like stone cold, like nothing. Wouldn't give them anything out of it, and they would be like, oh, smile, honey,
give me a smile, honey.
or like they would be like offended, like, oh, you're in a bad mood today, or you didn't have your coffee today, and make jokes like that. I'm like, oh, because I'm not receptive to you every morning. Oh, hello, gorgeous. How's your morning? I'm like, shut up, Jesus Christ! Like I'm just literally, I'm so done with this behavior. And and then it would turn around and me like, I'm being rude. I'm having a bad morning. I'm like, no, my morning's just fine until you walked in, of course. But so I think I did handle it better than at the time. I think I didn't know. But now that I'm looking back, I'm like, I think I did actually handle it okay.
You did,
considering
you didn't take
that I
shit.
didn't have. And I'm not that kind of person normally. Like I'm always nice, and I'm probably too nice, and I'm a yes person where I'll do, if somebody asks something of me, I'll do it. But in those scenarios, I did not take that shit, which I am proud of myself. Yeah, good. My 19-year-old self, I did okay. So.
Good for you.
Yeah, I still sometimes have trouble, like if someone's being creepy, and it's so ingrained in me to be polite.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it is that same thing where we need to teach men and boys and the women who need it. I mean, it's not all men and boys, but primarily, yes, teach them how to treat women in the same sense, kind of like our, my favorite murder, teach women to not, they don't have to accept it and be nice. Politeness. Yeah. You don't have to go along with it. If it makes you uncomfortable, you don't like it, you can tell them to fuck off.
Go by your instincts. Yeah, exactly. Wow.
How do we get off on that?
I don't know, but that's pretty cool.
We go from Hallmark movies
to a life lesson smack in your face.
We go the opposite direction of what love should be. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
We've all had to deal with it. That's why.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's our world we live in now.
So what are you guys, we'll transition into, what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving?
So we are, Nate and the kids and I are going to his sister's house down near Detroit on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, do you go to the parade?
No.
Okay.
I didn't know there was a parade. I don't tend to go to parades very often.
You didn't know there's a parade? There's Thanksgiving parade every year.
Where specifically?
Downtown Detroit.
We're not.
Avenue.
Yeah, it's not. It's in Farmington Hills.
Thank you, Art Van Lander. He saved the Detroit parade single-handedly.
Nice. No, I've never been to them.
Awesome.
Cool. No, yeah. So we're just going to their house. I don't.
Yeah.
No parades for us, but yeah.
Do they have kids too?
Older.
Okay.
His sister is about 10 years older. About 15 years older.
Stick with 10 if you want to be friends with her.
Yeah.
So, she's cool. No, she loves the X-Files, so we're BFFs.
Oh.
So. And then on Friday, my mom is hosting a Thanksgiving for my siblings and I, and then Nate will come, and then their significant others will as well. So that'll be fun. I don't get to see the Killupses or the Logans this Thanksgiving, but we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Can I this is just one thing, and it drives me crazy. And it happens to me so many years at work. The day before Thanksgiving, we're having a Thanksgiving feast. So basically, we're having a full-on Thanksgiving dinner the day before we have a full-on fucking Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
No, one year they did it in school. So I had to go to 2 different schools for my kids, have Thanksgiving dinner, and then go to work, have Thanksgiving dinner, and then make it the next day. That's why I made lasagna.
For real.
For my family for Thanksgiving. I'm like, fuck turkey. I'm not doing that. I've had 3 days in a row. I was like,
no one
not gonna
forced you to eat at all of the Thanksgiving dinners.
Oh, my God.
How do you not?
I know, but if you're a foodie, it's like, oh, Thanksgiving food. Yeah, it's the best. You eat it and watch football in the parades, and all of a sudden it's like, no.
No more.
Yeah, no more.
We were gonna host on Friday at our house. And Nate, we were gonna make a prime rib, but my mom is she wants a traditional Thanksgiving because she's not doing much. She's having lasagna actually on Thanksgiving, so she wanted to do a turkey, and so she decided to have it at her house. But I'm in the same boat where I've also had turkey at work. We had turkey lunch last week, and so I'm a little turkeyed out already, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Turkey for me and turkey for you.
Let's eat turkey in a big brown shoe. Thank you, Adam Sandler, for the only Thanksgiving song.
So my kids are all kind of spread out. I'm still trying to figure out what we're doing. I think Noah's coming home the night before. Well, Tuesday night. And because he can't come for Thanksgiving. And then my oldest and his girlfriend and my granddaughter are going to her parents. They're going to come over later in the day on Thanksgiving. And Mike and I are vegetarian. But my daughter is 100% not. And I said, well, maybe let's go out, the three of us, to do like a buffet. And she's like, I don't want to go anywhere. She goes, what about just a rotisserie chicken? Like,
bless her heart.
I said, you just want a bird? You just want to eat a bird. It doesn't matter what kind.
I want a bird. I want to eat a bird.
I may just pick up a rotisserie chicken for her. Yeah. And, it's just going to be casual. Maybe we'll go to a movie.
Yeah. There you go.
So Widows, you saw Widows.
Widows was great.
And you're recommending it.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, everything about it is great. It's very dark. It's very a slow burn if you are into those. There's payoff at the end for sure, but it's one of those where you just have to get really invested in the characters and the story, and the plot it's not like go, like an action movie. It's just a very slow paced.
I've never known Viola Davis to be in a bad movie. If she's in it, it's usually a quality good movie.
And I like that a lot of it, and it's the direction. Steve McQueen is a very good director if you're familiar with his movies, but he likes to hold on people's faces for a really long time and just let the emotion play out and however they decide. And I appreciate that because it's kind of not like not quick cuts. It's like let them cry, let them come back to themselves, let them, and I enjoy that because it's letting the actors do their thing. Yeah. So if you like that.
Can we go? Because we both looked at each other. You said Steve McQueen. Obviously, he's dead. And I know he has a grandson, Stephen McQueen, who used to be in Vampire Diaries. Who is this Steve McQueen?
Steve McQueen is African-American, and he's a director. His name's Steve McQueen. He did 12 Years a Slave.
Oh,
okay.
He did. He's done a lot of movies. I can't name it. My phone's dead, so I can't look them up. But he's a very good director. He's younger. He's a younger guy. Okay. But he's come the last 5 years, 5+ years.
I have to IMDb him to see.
Yes. The same thing happened when Nate asked me who directed that movie. I said Steve McQueen. He's like, it's not Steve McQueen. I'm like,
I know. We're like,
his name is Steve McQueen. He's just another Steve McQueen.
Okay.
There are others,
There are others.
Yes, there are.
All right. Well, we'll put that on our list. Probably, I don't know if I'll go with my daughter to that, but well, I mean, my God, I forget she's going to be 18 in December.
Horrifying.
She can see it.
Yep.
My youngest.
I know.
That's sad. And I'm a grandma. I love my grandbaby though.
She's the best.
She's adorable.
But I'm excited because it's just going to be my 3 girls, and none of their boyfriends I think are going to be there.
Oh, really?
So we had one of the boyfriends over for dinner just before I came over here, and boy, when you feed a 20-year-old boy, there are no leftovers. Because I made a meatloaf. Like, I'm going to have a meatloaf sandwich this week. No, I'm not. Because by the time the meatloaf went all around the table, by the time it got back to me, I'm like, yeah, I'm good with a salad. I'll have a salad.
It's like, okay. You didn't even get a bite?
Very small one, yeah.
Oh,
it was so cute because I watched him kind of dig in. I'm like, well, there goes half the meatloaf right there.
Yeah.
But he's a growing guy, but still, so.
That's funny. Emily, she was in a musical, and they always have like the last 2 nights of rehearsal and everything. The parents bring in dinner. So I was standing there helping with the serving line and watching the kids coming through, just scooping out huge amounts of food. And I'm like, there are kids behind you who aren't going to get anything. They don't think about that. They're just like, oh, I'm going to eat. And they just load their plate up. And I'm like, okay, next year we'll remind everyone to bring a lot more food.
Yep. They're great.
Yep.
Kids.
All right. Well, it has been very nice to hang out with you girls today.
It has.
I really missed this. I missed our little dynamic. You know?
We've all got you with your 2 jobs, and we just all are busy to find common days that we can get together.
But today is a good day.
Today worked out.
Today was a good day.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us this week.
Yes.
And, you can follow us on Twitter. We'd love that. Or, Facebook, our Facebook page. We also have a little Facebook group. Join us in our Facebook group.
She's laughing because I'm licking off the caramel off my glass.
We can do spoonfuls and finish off the caramel.
Okay.
So anyway, happy Thanksgiving to all of you.
Yes. Thanksgiving, everybody.
And cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. That was a good one.